Hi, this is Graphically Alex coming at you with all things fat related. If that's something that interests you, please subscribe. I'd love to have you. So today I'm going to just do a quickie. We're going to have a little quickie video. I still have been, I had to work so much this week. I might get into that a bit more at the end. But let's go ahead and just jump into this because I don't want to in case somebody's new, I don't want to say a bunch of weird stuff. So I guess this is on one of those videos where fat acceptance just basically, I guess, bashes thin people. I don't know how else to say it. So let's go ahead and watch, and I'll give my feedback on what she has to say. I might need to look at her page more.
Fat phobia is not about fat people. Fat phobia is about thin people, straight-sized people who need to feel above somebody else in society.
Okay, so this is already even within fat acceptance lore, in the mythology, we'll call it, of fat acceptance, there is a concept of internalized fat phobia, which I don't agree with. As I've told you guys, in my opinion, it's a toxic ritualistic mindset. Gotta say the talking point. I know that one commenter that's like, you're so repetitive. It's activism, babes. It's repetitive. I'm sorry. You gotta get the points out. But the point is, it's not fat phobia. It's a E followed by the letter D, part of which is a image issue with your physical form. I have to be kind of careful about what I say on YouTube. But it's an image issue. And so it's easy to externalize that on others. And that's really what it is. So if somebody is thin and they're really, really, really obsessed, harsh, nasty about fat people, it probably is because they have something going on inside in regard to E followed by the letter D. Okay, so it's typically not personal. I know that can be tough. I've talked about a lot on the channel. People that have that, they reinforce it, and others that have it, and it creates a toxic cycle that kind of perpetuates, which we do need to resist. And part of getting out of that mindset is getting past what other people say or what other people think about your body or what other people think, because you don't subscribe to that anymore. Even if you can acknowledge that other people in the world still do, you're going to be one less voice pushing that kind of thing. You're going to not internalize what they're saying because it's not helpful, but it's also not something I think the other person is always aware that they're doing. So it's difficult. Recovery can be difficult. I really do want to talk more about the interpersonal, but I'm still really focusing internally, but I'm thinking maybe in my topics next year I'll talk more about interpersonal dynamics within recovery and within weight loss and these kinds of things. But I still feel like it's important to focus on the inside right now. So we'll get to that, promise. But I'm still formulating my theories on the interpersonal. Um, but anyways, yeah, that's something that's a spoiler. You have to not internalize when people externalize their issues onto you, and that can be tough, but otherwise you can be reinforced without realizing it too, and we don't want that. We always want to resist that, not internalize it, not take that in, let it roll off of you like water off a duck's back. Okay, we don't internalize, which means you just kind of let it fly off of you as you're just like, oh, that person might have an issue. They just might, especially if it comes up a lot, they might have something going on, and I don't want to be a part of that. And so you just kind of let it go. Oh, my computer's not letting me go. Okay, let's continue.
And when you want to get above somebody, you have two options. You can either build yourself up or you can tear somebody else down.
So this point could very well be said against fat acceptance. You could very much so lose the weight, but instead you'd rather tear down thin people. This happens a lot. Jealousy is a major thing within toxic mindsets. Jealousy is major because you're always comparing yourself. So I think it goes both ways. I'll put it to you that way. And it's really important to not compare yourself all the time to people. For some people, that can be like a really novel thing, but it's too harsh and it just doesn't matter that much. And I know that can be hard to hear, like, especially when you're really young, but it doesn't, I promise. It doesn't really matter. um, it just doesn't. I know. It's kind of like a trust me, bro moment, but it doesn't matter as much as you think it does.
Which of those is easier? And they might not even realize that that's why they're doing it. Because when you're told something for so long, man, you really start to believe it. And when
Again, this can definitely be levied against fat acceptance. Things like obesity is genetic is said all the time. Things like it's impossible to lose weight, diets don't work, blah, 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 blah. If you count your calories, then your metabolism will slow down and then you'll just start gaining weight later. Like, there's so many myths in fat acceptance that are perpetuated and told so many times that people do believe it, even if it isn't true. I myself have experience with that to the point where psychologically this year I have felt like I've been walking on water as I've continued to lose weight, getting out of super morbid obesity, getting out of morbid obesity, and now I'm basically halfway through obesity. So basically, I haven't quite made that announcement because I'm not quite there necessarily. But that video will probably be coming soon that I'm getting towards halfway through. Which, according to Aubrey Gordon, I'm not supposed to be able to get out of obesity because I was super morbidly obese the majority of my life. So, again, we're told these things so many times and we believe that it's true. So, again, everything you're saying can be said against you, is what I'm just trying to say.
with this new glint of caring about fat people's health, it becomes easier and easier to ride that moral superiority wave.
Again, you can levy this against fat acceptance when you try to act morally superior by being more accepting and less judgmental and all these different things. This is a huge thing in fat acceptance. They always approach it from a place of moral superiority of, I don't care. I don't care what other people do, blah, 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 blah. This type of mindset is said because it's a way to make yourself more superior to other people because you feel above somebody who cares about other people's health, which is not logical and very stupid in my opinion, but it is still something that you guys do. So again, this is another form of projection, another thing that I could levy against you because you guys do this as well. Okay?
Because I'm not being hateful.
See? But you guys say that too.
I'm being helpful.
You say that too. You
I
say
care
this.
about you.
This is all projection.
So when I really start to feel down about myself, or when people are especially vocal about how they feel about my body, I like to remind myself that it's not about me, it's not about my body, it's about them and how they feel about theirs.
So I don't think that that's necessarily always true. Like I said, if it's something's like kind of obsessive, if it's very harsh, especially in families, I do think it could be more of like an externalized issue. But it really depends on the circumstance. And if somebody is just having a concern about your health, it's not really like that. Like I said, there has to be a ferventness, an obsessive tendency, a constant monitoring, which if you don't have that in your life, then that's not what this is. If you do, then there could be an element of that. So I think it's important to, yes, I agree with her that when it is that obsessive way, it isn't about you. It is a form of projection. But when it is more reasonable or logical, or when it's just something like what I'm doing now, which is making arguments or talking about the issue, especially like when people talk about the issue of fatness or debate the issue of fatness, it isn't necessarily that. And I think a lot of times people in fat acceptance, they look at everything so there's such blanket statements within it. Um, and this is also an introvert cringe thing. I might have to do like an introvert cringe and fat acceptance type of video because it's a major part of it. But this has to do with when you don't get out enough and you don't experience enough in life, you sometimes make really, really simplistic statements and they're such like blanket statements and you can't see the nuances as well between like somebody who's obsessed with your size or very fixated on that versus somebody who is having a healthy debate, discussing the topic, somebody who's just perhaps critiquing some of the things that you're thinking about your own obesity, or maybe just trying to tell you the truth about it. There's a huge difference. But in the introvert cringe mind, they are the same. And I think it has to do with a lack of experience and a lack of conversations with actual people in real life. And even just like getting out of the house. You know, a lot of people who are really big, they're shut-ins too. Which I'm not saying that she is. I'm just saying that regardless, she's, you know, expressing this kind of introvert cringe moment of no nuance or, you know, massive blanket statements over simplistic beliefs. And it's not helpful. And I don't necessarily think that she never leaves the house, but maybe she doesn't. But I think a lot of people who are watching this, who are fat and who are buying into everything she's saying, they very well could be the type that don't leave the house. So they're going to take this as gospel. And she's not completely with the program. She's only like 30% with the program. So I agree with some of what she said, but most of it I don't. So, and I think she's actually doing quite a bit of projection. So it's just interesting. These are my thoughts. Like I said, I got to keep this video more quick. But yeah, I guess I'll just let you guys know what's been going on. So I had to do a lot of work in October and the start of November. I had to do a lot of stuff with my car. Luckily, and honestly, in part, thanks to you guys for watching my channel because honestly, it has helped. You know, I was able to work to get my car fixed. And I still had to kind of like do my rent and other bills and stuff with doing the car at the same time. It was kind of like a huge financial leap, kind of scary. Um, but it was done and I made it and I'm okay. And now I can take a day off tomorrow. Well, sort of. I'm still going to film tomorrow, but you get what I'm saying. So I'm feeling like a sigh of relief because I finally am like in a position where I think things are going to start getting better financially for me. It's, you know, I don't know if you guys have ever been there where you've struggled like with car issues when you're poor, but it's very like kind of debilitating. And when you have to pay and stuff, it's like really scary. It's like a huge trigger too. I've had it like a lot this year, but no binge for me. It's gone, y'all. So yeah. And I have the energy. Just being obese, I had the energy to push through. Even if I just drank a bunch of pickle juice tonight because my body is so stressed, I was craving massive amounts of salt. So, yeah, it's nice to have like this deep internal reserve energy that I didn't in the past, and I really appreciate it. And I appreciate your guys' support as well so much because, like I said, I mean, I I'm just very grateful that I was able to do my car because it really will affect my quality of life and like my life. So I think I can say, like, at this point, YouTube has made a difference for me. And that's really something I'm so grateful for. Like, you don't even know. So I appreciate you all so much. Um, I'm gonna be back on my shit and be posting on time and stuff. Probably just taking Thanksgiving off, so to speak, the rest of this month. But um, I only missed one day. I was really sick last night. I had like a migraine and everything, but I still was like, I don't want to miss a day. Like, I just didn't. So today I was like, whatever. I can get up late tomorrow because I'm having the day off. But anyways, that's my little update. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will talk to you guys again tomorrow. We're going to be doing a new podcast. So I'm going to be looking at it. I'm thinking Aubrey. I miss her. I miss Aubrey. I miss my evil twin, my star-crossed lover, I'm just kidding. My mirror, my nemesis. Um, I forgot what the Gen Z term is. I can't think of it. My brain is killing me. My op. My op. I need my op. So I'm going to look. But thank you guys so much. I will talk to you guys again tomorrow. So, yes, let's go. Next podcast. Talk to you later. Bye.